that what was Srila Prabhupada mentioning there? Before a person leaves the body, the process of varnashrama is to what? Is to come to the state of prayaschitta. It's not like, and then the dharma is not like heavy also here. If you actually closely observe, they say before you leave the body. If that prayaschitta is not being cultivated, then the person has to go to the hellish planets. This is the argument which Arjuna is actually presenting to the Lord. Is that this argument is something profound. Now, to come to the state of prayaschitta is not an ordinary thing. To come to the state of atonement, that yes, definitely I have committed sinful activities. Now I need to counteract that. For example, children are not listening, or children are not practicing, or we are not listening to our superiors, to the spiritual masters, or we are not practicing. Why? Different reasons. There might be some health issues, some this, that, so many other things. But an aspect which we need to see, the process which we are learning is, it doesn't have any bounds. It is not limited to any of the perceptions or to any of the things which we've been kept or which we've been given. For example, there is Vastu Shastra. What is a Vastu Shastra? Vastu Shastra is this really works, dear devotees. I have experienced personally in my life also. I've seen so many families of how Vastu Shastra will actually keep their family in a difficult state. It definitely works because it is being directed by the Devi Devatas. The Vastu Shastra says that in certain angle the room should be there, the bathroom should be somewhere else, and kitchen should be only listed over there. The bedroom should be there. The dining room should be here only. And then the water should flow like this. There should not be water flowing in at certain direction. So there are different various rules, and all these rules has to be followed. Have to be followed. Definitely. There's no workaround for that. But this is for home. Because I remember when few years back when we in our Hyderabad in our city, we gave ground floor to a commercial shop, and he has shown it to Vastu. And then the astrologer, the Vastu Shastra person, he said, this on this side you should have a door. And then he came and requested us. Now, we understand the importance of that. We said we immediately accepted it. Yes, you should have the door because that is better for you. Because he's not a practitioner of Krishna consciousness, but he follows certain rules, principles. Now, why a person is following certain rules and principles? Because he want to ensure that whatever his business is there, it's good for him. So immediately we accepted it and the door was there at the right place. Now his business is good. So it works. So why am I telling this is very important because it's a connection to our discussion. The Vastu Shastra, which is there, if everything is there in the right place, but still we will have some deviations or differentiations because not every principle or every rule can be applied. They would try to apply like 70%, which is way better than having nothing. Because the Devi Devatas, they're all watching. Actually, they are watching now also. There are different Devi Devatas, they're all watching us. There's Shravani, they're always watching. That means whatever we are doing, it is being recorded. So everything is managed. But to the move of what Arjuna did, do we think that Arjuna is impacted with all of these things? Or do you think that pure devotees are impacted all of these things? Actually, they are not. That is why they were able to. come to this state, even though it looks like Arjuna is baffled up, but technically he's not baffled up. Because even that bafflement in his life is Krishna conscious. How? I'll tell. Because that bafflement is leading him to take shelter of the Lord. That bafflement is not pulling him away from Krishna. For example, if the Vastu Shastra is not good, or not correct, then what happens? Financial issues will come, health issues will come, family issues will come, different crises. In whatever he is touching, it will not give him benefit. The business will be very weak. He has to struggle. He has to strive. Because why? Because Vastu is not good. So in America, nobody has homes on Vastu. That's another thing. Because you just go and then see some home and then you just buy it. Because nobody sees that it's in the east direction or west direction or north direction. Where is the kitchen? They will not see all of those things. Now, here I'm not saying that now, oh, okay, from now on we should become Vastu's experts. I'm giving an example because through this example it's a beautiful correlation. Just like how Arjuna, out of all his difficulties, he immediately turned to Krishna, that the conditioned soul understands the purpose of his existence. It doesn't matter in which situation he is. It doesn't matter if he has vastu or not, if he's seeing or not. Because actually, technically, we cannot be fully 100% vastu. That means it is difficult. That means to please one devata is very difficult. One individual person to please is difficult. So that is a whole point. It is been said, it is been recommended in the scriptures that you take shelter of the law. That's the whole point Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. The essence of Varnashrama Dharma is before one leaves the body, we should come to the state of prayaschitta, atonement, complete atonement. Rakshash Sarva Rakshashiti iti Vishwaso, that my faith is on the Lord. My faith is on His words. My faith is on the acharyas. My faith is on pure devotees. Because their life is pure. If my goal and aspirations is towards that direction, dear devotees, what happens is, it doesn't matter in which situation we've been kept. Our analysis is only one. Our vision is only one. Our clarity is only one. Doesn't matter whether I have vastu, whether I do not have vastu. But to come to that state is difficult. That is the problem, na? To come to that state of understanding is difficult. To come to that state of acceptance is difficult. That is why our acharyas say depend. Just like Arjuna depended. That's why this Srila Prabhupada's instruction is very important actually. What is that instruction? The way how Arjuna has seen the truth. If we, as a sadhaka, we also see the truth in that way, then there is a lot of progress in our Krishna consciousness. The Lord also personally manifested, didn't he? Lord Ramachandra, the moment his father told him to go to the forest, he immediately embraced that situation. Didn't he? He is a supreme personality of Godhead, but what is he doing? It doesn't matter whether he likes or dislikes. It doesn't matter whether he likes forest or he doesn't like. But his attitude, his perception, yadyat ataritasya tattat eva tarojanaha. The Supreme Lord is showing through his way, through his vision. Just see the submissiveness. Very beautiful. He's not thinking, oh, I am supposed to become king. Why is it like this? He's not arguing. There's no counter discussion also. He embraced that situation. Arjuna, the moment he kept in that state, a state of bewilderment, he understands. Now, trying to take shelter of the Lord. Just like a child, the moment he is hungry, he goes to the mother. She goes to the mother. and then she somehow shape or form, she tries to express that through crying, through telling some way, shape or form, trying to express that I am hungry. She'll tell, or they will tell. Then the mother will understand and immediately she will give. So this is what is actually required, because how is the child is accepting it like that? How is that even Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually showing through his life? Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed through his life. The moment his spiritual master Ishwarapuri told him, you just chant Hare Krishna, he simply accepted that. This is also another important aspect. Even though he has unlimited knowledge, but still he kept all the knowledge aside. The sadhaka, because the sadhaka should come to that state. You shouldn't think that, oh, I've been doing so many services, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, I've been chanting since many years. No, no. The sadhaka never thinks like that. The sadhaka always thinks that things in this way. How can I please? How can I please my spiritual master? How can I please Krishna? He's not thinking what he has done. He's thinking what he has to do. This is love actually. This is only love. In love, there is no barometer. In love, there is no measurements. There is no common balance. That I gave you this, you gave me this. Done. No, it's not like that. Just like an employee-employer relationship. What is that employee-employer? What kind of relationship they have? Now, until September, I was working. My employer was paying me salary. Now, is he paying now? He doesn't pay. That's it. But I stopped working. He stopped giving salary. Will he give me free salary? No, he will not give. So there are certain relationships, there are certain situations in one's life that they will stop at certain point only. Because in that there is no love. If you actually see in the material world, there is no love. Yesterday we discussed about this, right? Very important aspect. What is that? The moment until and unless we have this body, then we have a motion. If the body is removed, then there is no connection. That's it, it's gone. But we think that he belongs to me, she belongs to me, this is mine, this is mine. So many ways, so many different understandings. We all have these reasons and logics. But the moment this body is vanquished, that's it, everything is gone. That is why this personality, these exalted personalities, they understand this completely, core to the heart. That's why they become very submissive. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally showed through his life. Srila Prabhupada personally showed through his life. The moment the spiritual master told him, he simply accepted that. This is the state. Now, the question which we were discussing, how is that conditioned soul doesn't come to that state? So many reasons for that. So much conditioning, not having right faith. That is the first thing. Not having right faith. If the faith is not there, what happens? We discussed about this example before. What was that example? The child going in the flight, and then all of a sudden there's a turbulence. Everyone in the flight, they were afraid. What's going to happen to us? Will this be our last day? They were all thinking like that. They were all fearful, but the child was not fearful. She was like a 9-year-old daughter, 9-year-old girl. She was not fearful. And then later on, after the flight was stable, the person was asking her, why are you not afraid of the situation? You're a grown-up girl. You're a girl. You're grown up. You understand. Everyone is afraid. Why are you not? Then she immediately said, my father is driving the flight. He's a pilot. I know. He's a great person. He's my father. That's why I'm not fearful. So that faith is a what? Is a barometer that gives what? That removes from all the inabilities of the life. Through that faith only, the sadhaka will put more focus on the process. He'll not focus on the issues, but he'll put focus on the process. But what he has to do. When difficulties come, first thing which is vanquished is Shravana and Kirtana. These things are gone. And these two things are gone, then everything is gone actually. Hearing and chanting, when these two things are gone, then everything is gone. Why it's a problem? If I have a problem, I cannot chant. A lot of people say, I have a problem, I cannot chant. I have this, I cannot chant. I have this, I cannot hear. I'm in this particular situation, I cannot accept this. They say I have health issues, I have crisis, I cannot join. I cannot hear, I cannot understand. These are the things which we need to analyze more and more. Why? Why the conditioning state is pulling the sadhaka, not accepting the truth fully? Why is it like this? Why? Because, as we were discussing, the faith is not there. And the second important aspect is the relationship which we discussed, employee-employer relationship. Everything is in that only. This entire world is like that. You take any relationship in this world, any relationship, husband, wife, father, children, or different other relationships. They're all on the surface level. They're not like deep relations. Actually, one person doesn't understand the other person what she's going through because the relationship is not that thick enough. So when that is a problem, then what happens? That means when a person doesn't experience that love, when a person doesn't experience that devotion, which is in a pure state, which is in a pure form, then what happens? He can never understand what he has to do. But Arjuna is not in that state. He understands which is pure. He knows what has to be done. Srila Prabhupada, they know what has to be done, what is correct, what is wrong. They know, completely they know. Through that understanding, what they do is they move forward. They put one step forward. Through the conditioning, what is happening is it is holding us. It is holding in our consciousness. Rightly, we cannot accept that state. Mother Yashoda, how is Mother Yashoda was able to mind Krishna? Why not others? Why is Krishna giving so much independence to her? Why is Krishna so intimately connected with all his intimate devotees? What is it? What is that they are doing? Actually, this is a question asked by Sukadeva Goswami in Bhagavatam. What is it? What are they doing in their life? That how did they reach that particular state? What did they do in their life so that Krishna is becoming like a son? Krishna is running behind them. Krishna is becoming a friend to them. What they have done in their life? It's a beautiful question. Bhagavatam is question answers only. They're revealing, they're churning their heart. They're devotees. They are very sold out. Life after life, they've given up everything for the pleasure of the Lord. They do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Yesterday we were discussing, right? Srila Prabhupada was mentioning if Krishna consciousness is the only thing which one has in one's life, then his chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will reveal his natural spiritual identity in his heart. That means Krishna is readily available. Krishna is ready to give everything. We also discussed this aspect. What was that aspect? If a person carries envy, how is he not able to go to the spiritual world? Why? Why the person is not going to the spiritual world? Because if the person goes to the spiritual world, he'll continue to manifest the same thing. Actually, that was the reason why we came here. A lot of people would ask, oh, why we came from the spiritual world? Krishna should have kept us there only. Even if we are bad, he should have corrected us. He has some mistakes, right? He should have changed our consciousness, just like that. See, in love, there is no change. Please try to understand. If a person really loves the other person, he loves irrespective of the other person's situation. That is why out of love only Krishna came here. You know why Krishna came here? Why is he sitting in our heart? Why does he send spiritual masters? Why does he send acharyas? Because of this. Why? Because out of love. Even though we rejected him, even though we don't want him, but still he wants us. Even though we try to establish our own relationships in this world, just like Krishna has relationships in the spiritual world, we also want to have relationships in this material world. But this relationship is independent of Krishna. That's why the happiness is not there. That's why if you see any relationship, there is no happiness. Even if they have happiness, let's say the husband and wife, they're together for 50, 60 years. We're very closely associated. We're very intimately connected. And then they leave the body. And a lot of those situations, how it happens is they're so intimately connected. The moment husband leaves, the wife leaves within 6 months. So she cannot stay. Or the moment wife leaves, the husband doesn't stay. He will also go. But those kind of things were there before. I don't think so. Those kind of things will be here. Will be now in the future. Because even that is diminished. Earlier, people used to follow scriptures to go to the heavenly planets. But now people they do not they do not aspire for that. Because nobody has patience to wait and go until heavenly planets. They want to get heaven here now only in this world. They want to get the logic of the heaven now itself. That's why they use money in different ways to have that state of consciousness, which is there in the heavenly world, heavenly planets. They're trying to imitate. Everyone is trying to imitate through some shape or form. That's why the sadhaka who says that he doesn't have time is actually cheating his own self. Fear, I've heard devotees telling, oh, we do not have time to hear. I always feel they're cheating themselves. They're not cheating the mission, or they're not cheating Krishna. They're cheating themselves only. Array, you have time to do sense gratification, but you do not have time to hear the class. You have time to do sense gratification, but you do not have time to chant Hare Krishna. Is it not cheating? It is cheating actually. You have time to earn money. You do not have time to earn. Do not have time to hear and chant your rounds. No, who is giving that intelligence to earn money? Is it not Krishna? Is it your independent intelligence? Did you came somewhere from the sky? Didn't you come from mother's womb? Didn't you took shelter of your mother? Nobody is thinking like this. Everyone is thinking that I'm totally independent. This is Maya actually. Complete Maya, illusion. Through illusion only mind will tell, oh, you do not have time. You cannot do this, or you cannot do that. You cannot do this service, you cannot do that service. You cannot get up like this, you cannot do this thing, or you cannot do that. What is this? This is all the mind game. It's in duality. That's why the conditioned soul doesn't come to the state with Arjuna came. These are all the reasons, dear devotees, why the conditioned soul doesn't actually come to that state. Because of this. Now, how many how many of the practitioners are getting up early in the morning and then doing their rounds? How many of the practitioners are getting every day in the morning and then hearing? How many of the practitioners who are connected to Krishna consciousness were actually thinking what I should do, what I should do in the life, what is the purpose of my life? Krishna says, I'm not this body but a powerful spirit. So did I realize that? Do we ask all of these questions? This is a very, very powerful tool, dear devotees. Introspection is a beautiful thing. It's a gift by the spiritual master. Journey within is a beautiful thing. The spiritual master gifts us, checking our heart, checking our consciousness. What am I doing? Where should I go? This is how the conditioning will be removed from our heart. If the condition is carried, how is that we will make progress? If Arjuna started thinking, oh, what kind of this thing is there? I'll just leave this place. Krishna says one thing, but here is something else. Krishna told me to fight, but here he did not tell me that these people will also be there. Krishna is speaking one thing and then doing another thing. No, I'll immediately go from this place. Arjuna was not thinking like this. If Arjuna would have left from there, then the Gita wouldn't have been there. Please try to see here how Lord actually uses. Actually, he wants to glorify his devotees more. He wants to, if you see, the devotees are actually getting that glories. If you see, aren't the devotees are getting the glories? Yes. Arjuna, we glorify Arjuna now also. Actually, Arjuna will be glorified rest of the eternity. Srila Prabhupada will be glorified continuously. We might not be there, but the acharyas will be there. Their words, their instruction will be there. Our body, how many days? Within few years, we'll be gone. But their words, they will be there continuously, again and again. They will be glorified. Right? Because they have established that. How? Because Lord has chosen them. Is this not love, dear devotees? Just like a father who wants his son to become an engineer. It's a natural thing. Father says, oh, okay, I couldn't become an engineer. At least my son will become an engineer and he'll be settled. Father thinks I couldn't study. At least my son, he should study nicely. What is he trying to do? He's trying to put his son on a higher platform. Is it not so? Likewise, the Lord, he puts his devotees on a higher platform. It is his greatness. That is not the greatness of the person who is on the higher platform. No, no, that's the greatness of the Lord. Because it's the Lord who has kept the other person on the higher platform. Srimati Radharani and her associates, they don't want to be in a higher position. But Krishna keeps them. They're not aspiring to sit there. They're not aspiring, all the manjaris, they're not aspiring to sit right next to Krishna and then participate in the swing festival. But it is Srimati Radharani who's keeping her friends in that position. See, I have experienced this happiness. Now you also experience this happiness. Because if my experience is giving me happiness, how about your experience? Is this not devotion? This is devotion, actually. This is pure devotion. Pure devotion is what? Pure devotion is to help the other person. That's what Krishna is doing. That's what his devotees are doing. Srimati Radharani, that is what she is doing. She is always aspiring for that. All my friends should take more and more association of the Lord. Selflessness. See this selfless act. Just like Arjuna, he was so selfless. How is he so selfless? He was thinking, Arey, how I don't want this property. Complete selflessness. I don't want any kingdom. Let they be happy. Even though they face so many difficulties, but still Arjuna is telling, no, no, can't accept this. See these personalities, what is their consciousness, what is their mood, what is their mentality? See, when the person is free from kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, these things will manifest. Please understand, dear devotees. These things will be manifested. Very, very important. This is a very important, dear devotees. How the conditioning has to be removed. The condition has to be removed like this. We should check. Arey, this karma is coming. No, this is not true. This is not good for me. I am not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. My desire shouldn't be independent of the Lord. My desire shouldn't be independent of the instructions of my spiritual master. My desire should be in alliance with them, not independent of them. My dear Lord, we should have this, we should go and then we should pray to the Lord. My dear Lord, I don't want any of these other unwanted desires. I only want you. Krishna Vada, Krishna Vita, Krishna Pranadana. You are my everything. Now that everything is very submissive. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is hearing from his spiritual master. His spiritual master says, you give up everything. Ah, okay. You, my dear spiritual master, I'll accept whatever you say. Okay, you want me to chant Hare Krishna? Yes, my master, I'll chant Hare Krishna. Simply accept it. He has tons of knowledge. You should not think, oh, my spiritual master, why are you giving me this? No, acceptance. The first sign of progress in Krishna consciousness is acceptance. When that acceptance goes deep, conditioning will not be there. Actually, that is a beauty, the science of pure devotional service. What is pure devotional service? Doing for the pleasure of the other person. That is the pure devotional service. Srimati Radharani, the moment she keeps the manjaris and the gopis right next to Krishna in the swing, you know what happiness she's experiencing? Unlimited happiness. She's crying out profusely, seeing the other person over there with Krishna. It is her devotion. That is why Krishna keeps her on the top. Because she deserves that. That's her beauty. That is the internal beauty, the heart beauty. That is why we aspire for her mercy. Now, how is her mercy coming? Through the acharyas and the spiritual master. That's why we are called as Rupanugas also, followers of Rupa Goswami. Why? Because whatever he says we will follow. That's why whoever does it, they are called as Rupanugas. Because they are devotees, another interesting aspect here. Now, when mother has that attitude, and Srimati Radharani has that attitude, all her friends, her intimate associates, Manjaris and the gopis, they have that attitude. Then all the acharyas will also have the attitude. And that attitude they're bringing us. When we accept dharmasya tattam nihitam, we also get that attitude. The mood of servant of the servant of the servant. Let me just accept. Let me just do it. Let me just aspire. That's why if a other person is in a bigger position, is in a higher position, and then is doing great service, oh, we should be so happy for that person. Because this is the heart of the acharyas. Because when the heart is not duplicitous, when the heart is free from duplicity, what happens? Clearly accept. That a person will establish a relationship with the Lord, with the acharyas, with the spiritual master. And that person can understand the truth. And that person, just like how Arjuna left everything and then he surrendered himself to the Lord, Arjuna will also do that through relationship. That's why everything is in relationship. Srimati Radharani, you will tell to Krishna, when she sees this devotee is also practicing nicely Krishna consciousness. Accept it. He just came now. She says that, oh, this is a good devotee. Accept it. Krishna will accept it. This is a mode, dear. Our life should be like this. Hare Krishna. I think I'll stop here. It's time. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to comment? would like to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandapanam all good to Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful wisdom on every day morning. At least I most likely is like, as you mentioned, we must always, irrespective of what, our guru says, we must follow because sometimes we feel that it might not be right, but they have the future vision as well. So just do it and, take them, very seriously. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, no, Chanakya. You
Yeah,
want to share
yeah.
something?
As said, so Gopal Das Prabhuji has said, sometimes we might feel like whatever our Guruji said, it might be wrong or it might be against to our desire. But at that time, we take decisions according to our desire. But later, we will realize, definitely, will at some time we will get realize we took our decision as per our desire, not as per our Guruji's suggestion. So definitely it will affect our these things. So again, rather than feeling this kind of situations, it's better to follow our Guruji's suggestions and those decisions at any cost, even if it is against our desire. It's really like why? Because they have such a future consciousness and they seen some vision in our like all the things. Whatever they said, it would be like related to the Krishna consciousness and our. We should not deviate from those.
Definitely, definitely. Actually, they have a plan for all of us.
Mm. Krishna will like speak from through the our gurujis.
Actually, spiritual master will have a plan for everyone. But the only thing is, our desires, our understanding, our things, they are the one which pull us away from that. So we should be very careful when they say something. If we try to do that, then that is beneficial for us. If we do not do that, then they will wait and then give more relationship, and then after that they'll tell some more instructions. If we do not accept that, then again they'll wait. Again they will give after some more time. So it is very important which instruction we have received. If we try to follow that to the best of our ability, then we'll make a lot of progress in Krishna consciousness. That is a key action. Just like Arjuna did, we should also aspire for that state. That is beneficial for us. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then Pranam Mahakal Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful words